Right.
Is it okay? Captured well?
Okay. 17 years ago, VDMA founded its branch office here in India, and since that time I'm traveling to India on a regular basis and visited a lot of places here.
What is the kind of work that VDMA does in India? I would like to hear from your point of view.
Yeah, we have roughly 550 member companies here on the market, and the work we are doing here is on the one hand to give advice and support to the member companies, and on the other hand to be in contact with all relevant organizations, governmental institutions and so on here in India, to try to explain them what we are doing, what the machinery is doing, and how we can help all the problems and topics India is doing.
What is the kind of advice and support? When you said advice and support, what would they be?
For the member companies, we try to explain them, for example, how the business in India works. Look, for example, at the GST question. We made a lot of seminars all over India to explain our member company how the new system will work and how to prepare to the new system.
India has tried its best to work on the ease of business. The government is looking at making India ease of business and like clean India, that kind of thing. What is the reality? How much of it have you actually seen on the ground?
I must say, yes, India did a lot of work in this easy of doing business in India. And we think there was a lot of improvement. For example, we have this initiative, Make in Mittelstand India, which brings or should bring German companies from the Mittelstand to India. And they opened the doors here in India very often. And it helps to create a better environment here in India and to explain more to especially medium-sized company how to do business in India. Second topic is, for example, to improve the visa question. We have this electronic visa now, so it's possible to get a visa on arrival at the airport, and this makes also business easier, and other measures were taken. But all in all, I must say, business in India is still a little bit complicated if you compare it with European countries.
Okay. If you had to make some suggestions to the Indian government officials, what would they be?
Yeah. Besides all the improvements which were done, I have more or less two big topics. One is the investment side. There's still room for improvement for the investment. If you look at the possibilities of companies to buy land here at a reasonable price, then it's especially in the big cities very difficult and very expensive. I sometimes say it's easier and cheaper to buy a piece of land in the middle of Frankfurt than here somewhere here in India. This is one of the questions, but really where India must do something. Sometimes they can learn from other countries, for example, from China. They have started with these free zones all over China, and this attracted foreign companies to invest because in these free zones there were a lot of land to a reasonable price. They can set up the industry there, develop the industry, produce, export, import, whatever they want, and this is what a little bit is missing here on the Indian market. And the second is the tariffs you have to pay for imports, for machines, are still the highest of the world. There's a competition between India and Brazil who has the highest in the world. And we advocate for a free trade agreement between India and the EU, because if we fulfill this goal, then we have the possibility, both sides, to export and import without any additional duties. This is a benefit for the German machinery industry and also for India, especially for the service sector.
Okay. Considering that you have a lot of German companies working in India or setting up manufacturing outlets here, so what is the kind of technology transfer? What is the kind of knowledge transfer that you look at sharing?
I must say, every import of a machine is a kind of export of technology, because always, if we deliver machines, install the machines, run the machines, there is a kind of technology transfer, because we are on a high level of machines, high quality, high specification, high number of products per hour. So we are on a very high level, and this brings new technology to the Indian market and improves production and improves quality, especially for the companies who will export. And on the other hand, there are a lot of investments now going on here. We have roughly 100, 120 member companies producing here on the Indian market, and this always brings technology in.
India, one of the main issues of India is that you know, we are not making machines on our own. I'm talking especially the CNC machines and that kind of. We're not making, you know, we are importing them. Yeah? So India wants to look at, going forward, India wants to look at making its own machines. How do you think that, you know, if India starts making its own machines, how do you think they can collaborate? Or what is the scope for German companies? Would they like that?
We like competition. Yeah, we are worldwide. We are in a heavy competition all over the world, and we are successful in the competition. So we are not afraid of competition from the Indian side. What is needed is qualified engineers to develop machines. How can you qualify the engineers? From my point of view, you must, let me say, send out more young Indians to study at universities in Europe, in the United States, in England. But if you look at the machinery sector, you should study in Europe, because the best engineers in mechanical engineering are in Europe. And then they can bring in the technology, and then they can develop their own business. But on the other hand, I must say, it's a time-consuming work you have to do, because you can't shift the know-how for producing machine from one minute to the other, from Germany or from Europe to India. So it takes time, and you must take the time to develop the industry.
My last question to Mr. Ackermann. Going forward, after today's session, you're celebrating 120th anniversary. So after today's session, what can we expect from VDMA for manufacturing?
I don't understand exactly what you mean.
You have a session going on where you're celebrating 125 years already. You're coming out with an app for the companies that are present here. So what is your intent? What is VDMA's intent to work? What is their intent to work in manufacturing sector going forward into the future?
What we want
now. What do you want to do in the manufacturing sector?
What we try to do, and what we have started to do, to bring in German companies presenting the latest technology in the different sections of the machinery in India, to explain what we can offer and what we can do together, because especially if you produce your machines, you need components. Yeah? And you buy these components here on the local market, and the more the better. Yeah? So on the one hand, we bring in technology and we develop sub-suppliers. Yeah? This is what we will more concentrate in future than we did before, because, as I mentioned in my speech, we believe in the Indian market, and the potential here is enormous. And so we have a lot of potential which can be used, and yeah, we are in the process to doing it.